Alright, what we got here? On the wrong side of the map. Alright, so first thing you want to do as a jungler, I'm sure you already know this. Look at all the matchups, right? Vi versus Trundle. I did that backwards, but whatever. If she comes in your jungle, you will fuck her shit up. That means you can go into her jungle because you will fuck her shit up if she tries to contest you taking her camps, right? So that's something to keep in mind. Maybe your early plays are fucking with Vi, not ganking lanes. Because you are Trundle. You fuck some shit up. Also, your first clear is kind of bad till you get your Tiamat, right? So maybe you don't do that early. Maybe your first rotation is ganking a lane because pillar is still pillar. You don't need items to have pillar, right? Bot lane is pretty easy gank setup for you, right? If Morg hits the Q, someone dies. You can help that with your pillar. Not only are they pushed back towards your team, they're also slowed. So that makes it easy to land these skill shots like Morg Q. That's very easy to dodge if you're not 5 brain cells kind of player. Same thing with Lux. Nasus has Wither. Wither plus Pillar. Maybe you run this guy down with no sums, right? If he has Ghost, whatever, he leaves. But you burned his Ghost, you can come back later and do it again. You have, what, 2 minutes? No, 2 minutes is 120, 3 minutes is 180, plus 30 seconds, so 3.5 minutes. You got 3.5 minutes, you can do a full clear and come back to top lane and regank, right? You don't have to camp the lane. You can go clear again, come back and get maybe the flash this time, right? If that's your game plan. But realistically, Nasus can just farm by himself. You don't have to gank top unless Darius is just being a dumbass and overextending with no vision and you know Vi's bot or something, right? This isn't really your lane you want to gank. But obviously you take free ganks when they're free, you take dives when you have dives, right? Mid lane, Syndra is really hard to gank as Trundle because she can just knock you away and you have no dash, right? You'd have to commit your flash for that, which means you'd have to know her flash is down for that to be worth it. But she is very squishy. If you get on top of her, she will die. So this lane is definitely on your radar as a gankable lane. Bot lane, of course, it's 2 squishy champions versus a Morg and a Trundle. That's a pretty good ganking lane. So I believe we talked about this on the loading screen and you started topside to path down for the early gank bot because we're going to have lane prio. So let's see how this plays out. Obviously we're doing our level 1 invade because we have Morgana.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift. 30 seconds until minions spawn.
There is in fact someone in this bush. The Q's going to hit, so she has to flash it. We pull her flash. Go ahead and get some extra vision down. I don't think that ward was that great. Let's see. So we were already leaving. This is correct. I don't know if we saw this ward. We probably should have noticed she warded it. So we should know this is warded. Yep. Nasus is pinging in, right? So we all just walk away. They know we left, but that's fine because we burned a summoner, right? So now that we know MS flash is down, 100% we're pathing down to bot, right? She can't live through a pillar. We don't even have to hit the Morg Q. If you hit the pillar on MF, she will die. So that's definitely our game plan here. Starting red. I can't tell if you have your trinket or not. But what I would do, since we showed bot, we know they saw us, right? MF saw us for sure. There's a ward here. They saw all of us were there in case MF didn't. I would ward right here in the pixel brush. Because when I see the jungler, like if I'm Vi and I see the jungler king bot, this is low elo. They may not understand how matchups work. They may not realize you're going to start red to path bot because we blew a summoner, right? They probably think you are starting blue because everyone starts bot side. That's just the default in low elo. No one thinks about those pathing options. They just get the good double person leash. I would have actually been planning to possibly invade your top side. Darius should have come in here to get a ward, something, right? In this instance, it doesn't matter because they're dumb and they didn't even ward anything. Vi's not changing her pathing or anything, but I like to get this pixel ward here because of that. I'll know if that's their plan because I'll see people, right? You'll see people walking through here. If that's the plan against good players, Syndra's going to shove mid hard and start cheating this way to help Vi with the invade, right? So this pixel brush ward is actually good because you'll see the mid laner rotating. You could even ward like right here. You know, you don't have to ward the brush because you know you can't actually hug this wall and not get seen on this vision because this vision goes to about right here, right? So if she hugs this wall perfectly, she could sneak through the vision. So if you want to do the you know anti mid laner ward, you might ward a little further down than the pixel brush, and that'll still see people pathing through this way. But no one did what they were supposed to do, so we're not going to possibly get punished for this. If they invade your jungle, it's completely blind. Alright, this is something I actually do also, so I want to point this out because it's as much for you as it is for me. Trundle's Q's and auto attack reset. I get into this muscle memory habit of kiting the camp, right? Auto Q, and then you don't do your second auto off that, right? You miss the free auto attack essentially. I think you canceled an auto right there. That's fine. You're just cutting the camp up towards Krugs because that's your next path. This is good. This is good juggling. You didn't get a leash, so you smited it. That's also good. Now here, to make your pathing, your jungling a little more efficient, you have red buff, right? So you want to apply the red buff to every jungle camp you're farming. You want to auto attack all of them at least once. Get that red buff tick going, because you're just basically losing DPS right now. If you don't auto attack that other Krug right here, and then you pull them out too far. Yeah, the Krugs are weird. You can leash them pretty far this way, over here, but you can't leash them very far over here. And realistically, the way they pop up, you really can't kite this camp too much until you get to the little guys, because they always seem to pop up towards the center. So you probably would be about 30 seconds more efficient here if you did the red buff trick, plus it didn't randomly leash on you. And then what do you skill? You get W, okay. Okay, now you're doing it here. I'm not sure if maybe you're attack moving and it's just picking the wrong target or not, but you are doing the red buff trick here. You're getting the red buff tick on the little ones. You want to make sure every time it falls off, though, you reapply it to the big one.
First blood.
Yeah, this first blood is pretty cool, but I don't know where your camera is at this point in the game. I mean, your Trundle, your plans to go bot. It's very unlikely anything crazy is happening. Like, yeah, sure, this Darius is overextended, but it is so inefficient for you to come top here. If we fast forward, because I wasn't looking at the map earlier. I mean, rewind. If we rewind, we can see he was already shoved here. You could maybe level 2 cheese gank him, but realistically, that's pretty terrible on Trundle because you don't even have pillar yet, right? And if you do a full clear, you're going to hit level 4. So realistically, you might not even skill up pillar until level 4. Because the Q is just faster clear. The E doesn't do anything, right? And then mid lane's just doing all kinds of crazy stuff here. This Syndra seems really bad. Yeah, she just dies to an auto attack. Nice. It's a good follow up by Zesko. So the cool thing about the chickens is you can actually kite them all the way out to about right here. So once you're killing the last one, you can start walking away like you did with the red buff. You can kite it all the way to about right here before it'll reset itself. And if you just do these little extra things, obviously resetting the camp sucked ass and really ruined your clear time. But, you know, there's a couple of other things you could do to just clear faster. So you could actually, you know, you'd be, you know, it's 3:30 right now. You should realistically be on your blue buff or your gromp, whatever camp you're doing last. I like to do the small camps first because they reset faster. So, and those are also your second clear is the small camps, right? So I want to clear this gromp first because I just cleared my wolves, so that sets up the timer better. If you're trying to be really efficient in your jungling and you go hit a recall timer that sets you up perfectly to start your Krugs, you'll actually be waiting on your gromp to respawn because you did it, let's see, 30 seconds after your wolves died. So it's not even going to respawn yet, especially on your second clear because it's so much faster. You're actually losing a little bit of efficiency on the gromp for the second clear. That's unfortunate. That definitely hit the crab. That's kind of bullshit. I would have honestly probably just smited it if it's up. Looks like it's not up. That's a good rotation. Yep. Build off the camp. Your red buff fell off. That's another reason why the inefficiency thing is so bad here. Like, you should actually still have red buff for a gank here. but it fell off because it took you too long to do the rest of your jungle. But that's fine. You're still just farming. Bot lane just kind of shat on them anyways. I don't know what happened. That Q didn't miss. That's a visual bug. uh, and let's see what's your plan here. So if I'm looking at the game state, wrong button. So if I'm looking at the game state here, the crab's a little annoying. You kind of have to watch it while you're doing it because it moves around so much. But besides your E, you don't really have any skill sets. So you can kind of just right click on it and then press Q whenever you see it come off cooldown, and you can just look around the map. So bot lane is going to push away from the enemy, right? They have 4 minions, we have 2. The minion wave is right here. We know that because ours is right here, right? You know how to do that. I'm just pointing it out because it's relevant right now. So the minion wave is about halfway to the tower. That means their reinforcements will get here before ours would. So if she tried to hold this for some reason, it would still push away no matter what, right? This is always pushing away from the enemy team. So I would, just because of that, and because we know MS flashes down, I don't really give a fuck about the rest of the map. This is our target, right? ILMF is our target. The wave's pushing away from them. She's going to overextend. We're in gold, right? This player's not going to be smart enough to say, my flash is down. I'm too vulnerable to a Trundle gank because there's nothing we can do about it, right? Vi's not going to help a Trundle gank. Sona can't help us Trundle gank. They're just fucked. So she should actually be hard shoving while we're out to try to get this wave to reset. If you see they're not doing that, and I would already be recalling as soon as I kill this crap to set up for this. So I see that this wave's pushing away. I want to get my recall off right now. Krugs have already respawned, so if nothing else, I'm going back for clear 2. And you should have enough gold for a Tiamat. How do we check the gold? It's not the T key. Z, X, X. There we go. 978. I think they changed Tiamat recently. I forgot now. It might be another 1100 gold component like Iron Spike Whip. I think it's Pickaxe is the build path, and then it goes into Tiamat. So you don't actually have enough money for that, but you can get some other stuff. There's no real ganks to be had. You're not going to run all the way to top lane, obviously. That's a complete waste of time. Mid probably just killed again. Yeah, see, she's dead twice. So mid just killed, and we reset. So really the only thing for you to do is either try to solo dragon with no items, not a good idea, or reset. So as soon as this crab goes down, you should already have that plan in mind of, I'm resetting to Krugs, and I'm keeping an eye on the bot lane wave, because if they overextend with no flash, MF always dies. Mork doesn't even have to hit the Q. If you get the pillar on her, she dies. Because Caitlyn can throw a trap behind her, because she's so slow, she has to walk around it in a really awkward pathing, and you'll just get on top of her and kill her. And then we even see the bot lane here, because they try and, I don't know what they're doing, really. I think they were just trying to get a vision down. Or maybe they had some suspicion you were on Dragon. So, hold on, let me back up. I wasn't watching you. So, at the beginning of the game, we said, yeah, you can walk into Vi's jungle and fuck her up if she tries to contest you taking her camps, right? But I think there's 3 problems with this exact play. So, the first one is right here. The bot lane didn't actually know where you were. I don't think they saw you, but now they know exactly where you are. They know you're over here doing chickens. So here comes Syndra. If she's smart and paying attention, she'll also see your blue stuff on the ground, right? You put your W enough to where it went over the wall. So Syndra knows you're here. The bot lane thinks you're probably there, or you were over here at one point. See, Vice says, oh, maybe he's trying to do Dragon. So their read was, you checked that for Dragon Vision. So they thought you were actually soloing Dragon. Syndra should have called Vi off that play when she saw your ground stuff. She should have noticed it here, and she should have noticed it here while she was in lane. So that, coupled with the fact that you actually just want to reset, spin gold, and start pathing down again to kill this overextended bot lane, is actually one of the reasons why I think you just don't even invade the chickens at all. Because it's just not efficient pathing. You already have something better to do. Resetting your camp so they level up to 3 is actually more valuable than killing her level 1 camp. And I think no, it was a level 2 camp, but I just don't think it's a good invade here because bot lane was resetting. They had prio to rotate, and you really just want to spend your gold. I mean, if you're playing a champion like Lee Sin or Vi or somebody who could just, get out for free if they get spotted, maybe it's worth it, but having to burn your flash there sucks. Flash is really good for your ganks. Alright, where are you going here? You're running straight down the bot to take advantage of this overextension. See, this is weird. This is weird for two reasons, right? So the first reason why it's weird is you normally want to path. If you want to do a full clear, you want to end where you want to gank. And if you want to just do a half clear because you want to gank, you want to make sure you're clearing your camps in the right order. Now, when you're wanting to gank, it makes sense to go Wolves, Gromp. Now you're closer to this area of the map. But if you're going to reset these camps, that means the next thing you do is you'll clear these camps or you'll reset and start over. If you start over, now this doesn't happen every game. It's a timing thing. So if you're trying to power farm, you want to make sure you're clearing your camps in the same order you'd clear them in if you were doing a full clear, no matter what. So if you do Wolves and then Gromp, and then you decide there's no gank possible bot, you don't want to do Dragon because we're not sure where Vi is, and you decide to go clear top, now your camps are in a weird order because Wolves are going to respawn before Gromp. So even though it sounds weird, I think what you should actually do is just start Gromp. And then if the gank's possible bot, you just run straight to bot and gank, and then you finish clearing, you go Wolves up, right? If the gank's not possible bot, well, you didn't fuck up your train tracks. You still got Wolves up, you go back to Wolves, and you work your way upwards, right? So I think that's a small pathing, clear efficiency thing. It might be my opinion that I like it that way better, but it's definitely more efficient because even though you're Trundle and we have stuff going on where you have pretty decent gank setup or you are good gank setup for yourself, you still always want to make sure farming, right? That's always your number one priority is farming. How can I farm most efficiently? And when where can I get farm? So obviously the answer to number two is almost always going to be my jungle, right? My jungle is where I get my farm most of the time. 99% of your CS will come from your jungle. Maybe not that high, but and then once you're done farming, or there's obviously there was that play you rotated to while you were doing crab, which I think was a good rotation. Sometimes you do leave a camp, right? But you want to start the farm train, and then if you're supposed to deviate from that, right? You take a different path and you go do something, right? So I'm gonna stop dwelling on that part here. So I think you probably just start Gromp here. I think your plan here was to gank bot, so it makes sense to path downwards towards bot. But because of the wave state, you actually missed the window. Maybe we fucked this up in bot lane. I don't really remember what the call here was, but I think starting Gromp still makes the most sense. And then what are we gonna do here? Alright. Bot lane shoved in. They can't do anything about this. And we know from the beginning of the game that Vi started red, right? So, because you came back and did one camp, dicked around a little bit. I'm not saying you wasted your time or not, but you weren't farming a camp while you could have been. We think Vi did 2 camps, and she's topside, right? So this should be a free dragon. I like this dragon call. Trundle does it pretty well by himself. Not a big deal. You get a little low. What'd you end up buying? What'd you have money for? You did have money for Tiamat. Okay, cool. So now you got your Tiamat. And now you see the awkwardness of what you did earlier, right? So now you're doing Gromp, probably what 2 minutes after Wolves, and then you're gonna go up. So this is what made that pathing awkward. If you had just done Gromp earlier, I don't want to be results oriented, but most of the time this is how it shakes out. If you would have just done Gromp first, you would have done Wolves second, and that makes your reset jungle clear just more efficient. Now, we know Vi's top, right? Joker's probably pinging it. There she is. He has ult. He's kind of just baiting her. He's like, yeah, whatever. You're not going to take the Q. That's fine. I happened to be resetting, so I rotated up because Rift Herald spawns at 8 minutes, right? So I wanted to rotate this way to at least try and get some vision or something. If I was just here, didn't place a single ward, blows my mind. My sweeper completely missed. I don't get it. She should have at least warded over this wall or this bush right here. I don't know what's going on. This team's really bad at vision, by the way. This happens a lot. Alright, we found Vi for sure. She was on our blue buff. We got some vision down. If we wanted to do a Rift Herald play, we are able to. I think your call was, nah, I need to clear my jungle. You know, Nasus has a wave to farm. We don't need to force it. We'll just counter it if they try to do it, right? We have vision down. They can't just sneak a Rift Herald. I think that's perfectly fine. You got plenty of farm to do. We don't need to force anything. We're ahead. It's 5-0. We know we're ahead. We don't have to make overly aggressive plays. They do, right? So you can just make the normal play of, I'm going to farm. In fact, like right here, I don't even think you walk in here. I think you just either run straight to your Nasus, or you just go to the bot side and say, hey Nasus, you're on your own, man. You got ult, you got ghost, you should live, right? You decide to commit to it though, so that's fine. I think he had good target selection here. Vi was
Blue team double kill.
Vi was the one kind of on top. Darius was just kind of just sitting there, like, I think he just walked in and pressed R basically. I didn't see the. I didn't see I didn't notice when the pillar happened. So here you come. There's the pillar. Okay, that's why Darius didn't do dig. That was a good pillar. It's unfortunate that you can't pillar Vi out of her ult. That'd be nice.
Blue team double kill.
Yeah, see, that's basically the reason why this play kind of sucks. It's like, yeah, sure, Vi's there, but I'm not saying it's your fault that Joker died, but I think you probably baited him. He probably could have just popped Ghost and ran away, realistically. But the fact that you were there, he was like, oh, okay, let's fight. We're ahead. We should win this 2v2. But that's not really true. This isn't the part of the map that's ahead, right? Plus, you're dealing with Darius. You don't have a great way to keep him from just auto-attacking to build his stacks. Like, your pillar was good to slow it down, but it's just not a great 2v2. It's a really coin flip fight. Nasus has a Sheen, which isn't great for long extended traits, right? That's a quick burst item, you know? Auto Q, walk away. I don't want long extended fights with the Sheen. Plus, it's Nasus. He just kind of wants to farm. You know, this is a good gank, though. I wasn't watching where you were before. You were probably clearing red side. And then you said, you know what, this Darius is stupid. We know he just used his ghost. His flash was down from earlier. We probably knew that. So that was a good gank. And then you, at this point, you're already here. It's the reset cycle again. We have a good idea if Vi's probably bought. I got caught randomly down here. I don't remember what I was doing. So yeah, starting Rift Herald I think is the right play here, 100%. I would have done the exact same thing. We're pretty sure Vi's bot. Our bot lane just died. They might invade my jungle because of that, so I don't even want to walk down here. A smart Vi would actually just walk straight into your jungle here. I don't know what the fuck she's doing. This Vi's terrible. She should be in your blue side jungle right now. So, because of that, because of what she's supposed to do, you get a free Rift Herald, basically, right? So, she has two good options. Invade your jungle, or try to counter Rift Herald. Her team's down in gold, in kills. Mid lane isn't going to get prio for Rift Herald because Lux has been shitting on this Syndra. It's got 2 level advantage, right? So, I think the smart play for Vi was invade your jungle. She really missed an opportunity to counter jungle here while you were taking Rift Herald. That was pretty bad in my opinion. What's the spawn timer for Dragon? I don't know how to view that in the replays, but I think it's coming up in the next 30 seconds, right? Because we got the gray hourglass. So now, let me go back a little bit. Alright, you got Rift Herald while your whole jungle was up. Okay. You already have red buff. You're looking for the play mid. She went bot instead. So that's fine. Honestly, you're in kind of a weird position. You just got Rift Herald, so you get the fast back. Dragon's coming up in about 30 seconds. I think I would just recall here. Because, again, it's the jungle camp thing, right? Doing chickens by itself isn't very efficient. Trundle's very good at full clearing with Tiamat. You know, you're not a jungler who avoids the Krug camp. So, I would reset and run straight towards bot. I would start clearing bot or looking for a gank in preparation of Dragon. I'm going to be wanting to get vision soon, right? So you're already in a position to come escort for vision.
Boom.
So
Blue team's turret has been
this is something
destroyed.
we can clean up to help us prep for dragons better, right? Dragon spawning in 51 seconds. Okay, 51 seconds. I was way off. In that case, I probably would have just recalled and cleared top down. You can do. Hold on, let me back up. I might take that back since Dragon was so much further away. So Dragon spawns at about 13 minutes. We're at 12. So we'll just call it 13. So let's go back to when you kill the Rift Herald, right? Okay, so we know we're about to secure Rift Herald. So Dragon spawning in 1.5 minutes. That's the approximate timer for it. Trundle with Tiamat can full clear his jungle in about that much time. Um, if you save blue for Lux, which you probably should at this point in the game because Lux is ahead, Trundle doesn't really need it. You don't need to spam your W in the jungle once you have Tiamat, and your Q costs like 20 mana. So you don't need mana for fast jungling. And blue buff's great on Lux, obviously. So I think there's a definitely a debate on or an argument to say that maybe you just immediately recall, full clear down, and then you reassess the map. So you have Rift Herald, bot's winning super hard. There's only 2 plates left. That's a free tower. There's 2 plates in mid as well, so either one's a good option. I think both of us agree that mid's more important to open because that gives you easier access to their jungle and all those other benefits, right? So I do like Rift Heralding mid. Maybe you clear top down. On your way to bot side, you get the wave pushed in and drop the Rift Herald, and then you rotate down. At that point, you're calling me to come up in vision, right? We're now going for vision control. That'll be about a minute before dragon spawns. If you're not confident in your ability to clear that fast, then I don't dislike your idea of just, you know what, I have about 30 seconds to waste. I'll kill this chicken camp. I'll do the Rift Herald and then I'll rotate down for vision. That's perfectly defensible play too. Um, it's just something to keep in mind. Like, hey, I have Tiamat, I have Phage, I got magic boots too, right? So you're a little bit faster than you normally would be. So I think if you're confident in your ability to clear quickly, and since you already have blue buff, you could spam your W to clear faster, right? If you're confident in your ability to clear quickly, you could just make the play to go ahead and set up a full clear. And that'll help your farm numbers because you know how that works, right? If I don't clear this camp, it doesn't respawn. So you effectively lose 4 CS every time you don't clear your camp. So that's the other reason why you can do it. We're really far ahead. We have bot lane winning, we have mid lane winning. The chances of them just sneaking dragon because we didn't get there on spawn or we didn't set up vision early enough is extremely low. It's also not that big a deal. Like one dragon, who the fuck cares if they get one dragon? What's more important is that we're maintaining our lead and getting gold. Dragon doesn't actually give you gold. It's like 50 gold for the person who kills it. That's it, right? It's not actual gold. You can't buy items with dragons. So I would all of that said, I would prioritize. All right, I killed Rift Herald. Hey guys, I'm resetting, full clear, and then we'll worry about Dragon. That way, your whole team already knows. All right, we're not doing Dragon on spawn. We're gonna wait until about 2 minutes from whenever he just said that. That's the full clear timer ish, right? It's around 2 minutes for you to reset and full clear. And then once you get to your Grump camp, that's when bot lane's looking for prio, so I can rotate with you to do the Dragon Vision stuff, right? And before that, I'm trying to sneak a ward over here to make sure they don't actually sneak it, even though they should never try to sneak it in a million years. That would be some crazy shit from Vi to just sneak the dragon. She can solo it, but she's really far behind. She should be prioritizing her farm as well. Um, so that's something to keep in mind. I think what you did is perfectly fine. It's a play that makes sense. It uses our pressure advantage. I just think the other one's a little bit more efficient. And in close games, it'll really matter that you don't have 200 farm and you only have 120. This game, we're so far ahead that as long as we don't do stupid shit, we should win. So, we didn't get punished for it or anything. Here's another small one, too. I know it's tempting to just push W. You can actually aim the W a little bit. So whenever you're jungling, especially when you're counter jungling, you want to try to aim it further inside the jungle so it doesn't show outside the wall. Just like when you're playing Vi, you don't want to stand right here and do the chicken E and do the E over the wall so people see your E animation, right? It's just those, nocturne, you want to queue backwards, those kinds of things, right? You don't want to show people where you are because if we're doing our job as a team, in this instance it's not as relevant because you just took Rift Herald, but Vision denial is just as important as getting vision. So that's just a small thing you could do against good players. They'd notice, hey, Trundle's here. I see the little blue thing. But these guys are idiots, so it didn't matter. Plus, it was our jungle. I'm just pointing it out because it's relevant sometimes. Alright, we knew Vi was there, so I took the plant. I popped the thing. I really thought she was walking forward there. You're just soloing the dragon. You have flash up, so I like you standing on this wall. In case you need to collapse on something, you can just flash over this wall. It might seem weird to most players. You should be standing back here or something, but no, you're in position to follow up. You know, if Ilmef walks through here, I'm 100% flashing over the wall and killing her ass, right? So that's a good positioning on the dragon, I think, for sure. Now here, Lux just pushed the wave in. I would be calling him in for this blue. Looks like maybe you are. Okay, maybe you're not. He's just standing there. But this is the perfect handoff opportunity for the blue buff to Lux. Just got the wave shoved in. Get my blue buff. Probably recall, spend some gold, or rotate top, whatever. This Darius is always shoved in. So here, all right, let me back up. This is a really good critique moment. So right here, bot lane's pushed up too far, right? I missed the Q on the wall. That's fine. So I would never path this way. What I would actually do is Trundle is a really good lane ganker because of his pillar. So wait for Caitlyn to get prio. Just go and do your Gromp camp while Caitlyn gets prio. Just do your Gromp camp. Caitlyn will push the wave out, and then you just run. You just run down here. You stand in this bush, and then once Caitlyn pushes this, so this is the one you're waiting for her to push while you're on Gromp, right? She pushes this out. You're running through the lane. You get into this bush, and then you get into this bush, and then you get into this bush because the wave didn't show up yet, right? And now we can just dive this. You have ult. It doesn't really matter against them too much, but I would just ult MF just for the damage. If I hit a Q, we go in. If you want to just flash engage with pillar, you know, we can easily dive this here over the lane gank. Or you can just sit in this bush and wait for the next wave, right? Because we knew the wave was coming in about 10 seconds. So if you're in this bush right now, they just die, right? 100%. So you can actually get a really effective gank off here if you just do a lane gank and wait about 10 seconds. It's okay to be inefficient in those kinds of moments because look how low this tower is, right? So you're not being inefficient with your time. You're securing this objective. Now it turns out they're just fucking morons. Lux rotated down. You still effectively got a lane gank off. That was basically a lane gank, right? And we get the tower anyways. You know, like I keep saying, this team was complete trash. As long as we weren't fucking morons, we were going to win this game, right? They were just so bad. I don't know how these people are gold players. It doesn't make sense to me. But you could have gotten a lane gank, and then we actually wouldn't even need to rotate Lux. Lux could be just pushing mid right now, right? If Syndra tries to rotate to support the team like an idiot, Lux gets this tower. So it works out because they're idiots. But it's possible if you pull this lane gank off and everything shapes up the way it did, where they walked forward and stood right here, and didn't even check this bush, they have no idea where Trundle is, etc. We just kill him, get the tower, and then Lux maybe gets this tower. Even if he doesn't get this tower, we can just rotate all our units to mid and get the tower anyways, because the lane's going to be firmer shoved. I do like this shove in here. Keep pressure in mid, force Syndra to stay here, right? And then Lux can rotate with you. I think we might know Vi's in our jungle, so we're all calling like, hey, let's go get her. What the fuck's she doing here? Maybe not, because you're in their jungle now, so that's good. I like that. You check the stuff. I probably would have just checked the wolf camp. You were just here. Let me see. I was looking at the map. Let me see where you went after you shoved the wave in. Okay, you're still out here, so it didn't make sense to go through this alcove right here. I probably still would have. If I wanted to be aggressive to invade the jungle, because that's the decision you made, was to invade the jungle. I would have just checked the wolf camp, you know? I would never do that, though. Don't use your W just to run around in the jungle, because we don't actually know where Vi is, right? So if I was just walking up, you're way over here, but she sees your blue shit on the ground, so now they all know where you are, right? I think you used it to rotate to this top fight faster, right? But you don't need to use it that early. I would just wait. Maybe use it right here, because there's a possibility that they kite this way, so then you end up back on your ground for the attack speed. But at this point in the game, let's see, where'd you go? No, it's rank 3. It has a 12-second cooldown. So even if you used it here, it's not really going to be up for the fight. So you might as well save it to where it's in a more neutral area. So that way, if I happen to be following you, because maybe we already knew she was there at this point, but just in general, you don't necessarily want to give away your whereabouts.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
So now we get mid because of your shove in. See, that's why I liked that. You made sure the tower was there, and then Lux probably just walked in and autoed it a couple times. See, this is where we're running into that weird efficiency thing, right? So you just had a reset timer. It's probably a correct reset timer. But now just like your random Gromp camp is up, and that's it. So I would probably, I don't remember what your timers are because I haven't been watching the jungle pathing as much. I was watching more like the mid-game rotation stuff. I would probably just tell Lux, Caitlyn, hey, go get the Gromp, man. Just go reset it for me. If my Krugs are coming up soon, or if I'm going to go for this Rift Herald play, I don't even want to be down here, right? So I might just tell bot lane to go get the Gromp, and then you might path down, and then we're setting up for Dragon again or something, right? That's just something to keep in mind. I don't remember the timers on everything. It may not have made any sense to do that, but I usually like going for Rift Heralds because Dragon Soul is a thing that matters. It doesn't win you the game, though. It just makes the game easier to win. What wins you the game is killing their Nexus. And Rift Herald's very good at getting you to the Nexus, right? It pressures towers. I've actually won games where I got the second Rift Herald, and we had a situation like we did earlier in mid, where they just weren't catching waves properly, and we just took that sumbitch all the way to the Nexus because they didn't react to it properly. They had 2 units top for some stupid reason. Why are you here? You have a giant wave on your tower, Cinder. What the fuck are you doing here, right? This is how you punish those stupid-ass people for making those dumb rotations. You just get the Rift Herald and you shove it down their throat and they choke on it. Let me go back a little bit. So I think this is just a pathing thing, right? So we're pretty sure. Okay, no, they saw us because Caitlyn autoed the ward. We'll talk to Michael about that. So though I don't think he understands how this works. Whenever you use the sweeper and it deactivates a ward, all it does is deactivate the ward. It doesn't show you, right? So if your goal is to gank and you're just trying to be as sneaky as possible, and you did this right actually, you just run straight through that ward you disabled, right? You don't stop to auto attack it. He actually gave you vision, and they might have alerted them a little bit faster because, especially lower elo players, they don't notice this ward was disabled. What they notice is this big ass red circles that popped up on their map, right? So he actually gave away your position here, which made this a little worse. But you still can path better. So you're running like at them, right? There's no reason to do that. They have to run all the way back here. So you already know where they're going. Just run this way, right? Just cut them off. They have to go through you or they have to turn around. Those are the only 2 options, right? You don't have to run this way. Especially as a Trundle who doesn't actually have a gap closer, you have to path behind them as much as possible. And then you just get on top of MF, auto Q her, she gets slowed, she might panic flash, and then you throw your pillar, right? You're already in the right position, you don't have to throw your pillar yet. It's kind of like when you're playing Vi and you want to ult this MF. You don't need to use your Q yet, right? You just walk and you press R. Maybe she flashes, maybe she doesn't. You Q after your R, right? So when you're playing Trundle, it's the same concept. You don't need to use your pillar until they've already used their mobility skill. So just run straight down like this and cut them off. They might get scared and get put in this bush. Let's see, you have sweeper that you just used. Caitlyn doesn't have a ward. That's fine. If you're running this way and they never leave this bush, you know where they are, right? So you can just walk up to the bush. Caitlyn can walk this way. You can walk straight, and they're fucking cornered again, right? So they only have one option. One of those is to Sona ult, which is why we have Caitlyn walk this way. If you both walk straight, you both get Sona ulted. So Caitlyn walks this way, you walk straight. They gotta pick one. Whoever they pick, it doesn't matter. Both of you are gonna fuck them up. And then Caitlyn just probably throws a trap in the bush. That gives vision while she's placing it, so you'll see where they're standing. And then, that should be an easy double kill for Caitlyn or you. Whoever gets the last hit. But luckily, Sona doesn't even ult. She just panic flashes and runs away. So even though both of y'all could have done stuff better, it still was technically a successful gank. We're trying to secure our dragon number 3 here. It would have been really nice to just double kill the bot lane, because then you can just solo it while Caitlyn farms, and Caitlyn doesn't have to rotate over here and not be farming right now. So We should be like 5 to 10,000 gold ahead right now instead of 3. Just because these little small things we're not doing as a team that are inefficient. Like Lux, what are you doing, Lux? They don't need any help here. We have this secured. Just go mid. Oh no, they stole it. Alright, let's go back and watch that. So, we know they have a ward here, right? We saw them place it. Let me see where you are. Let me pause it. Yeah, we see the ward. We see them warded, right? So that's why you pull it out. Which is fine. But, you know what? Let's pause the game here and reassess the game state, right? So, two things just happened. One is, we saw them ward this. We can reasonably assume it was Sona, because LMF should have a Scryer's Bloom. Vi should have a Sweeper. Right? Syndra doesn't have a Scryer's. Neither one of them have a Scryer. That's fucking stupid. Whatever. We can reasonably assume it was Sona, though, because she's the person who's supposed to have wards, right? So we know Sona's here. We don't see Vi. We don't see LMF. Syndra's mid. Our Lux is in base. Our Nasus isn't actually pressuring top right now. Our Caitlyn should be farming something, but she's not because we're ready to rotate the dragon. I honestly think the play here is just leave. Don't even fucking do the dragon. Why? You know, we're the only. I mean, I don't want to be results oriented. Vi ended up stealing the dragon, right? But we don't have to force the dragon. And it's actually, this isn't a sneaky dragon like the first one you got where you just snuck it solo, right? It's not a sneaky dragon. We are not pressuring the map anywhere. We have bot pushing in kind of, but the wave's gonna meet like right here. It's not even going to be on their tower, right? Mid's not even in lane. Top's not even in lane. We don't need to do this dragon, actually. We have decent vision, right? But we don't have to do this dragon. We just leave, you know, go do your wolf camp, and then, you know, maybe leash the blue for Lux. Maybe tell Caitlyn to do the wolf camp, and you're just going to go up to Rift Herald or whatever, right? There's a lot of options of what to do here, but I don't think dragon's the right play. I think we just leave. So they got it. They got a vision down. We didn't kill the bot lane like we tried to. Our mid laner reset. Our top laner reset. This is inefficient. It's not about good or bad, right? It's inefficient. It's not an efficient play. We have better things to do with our time. It's more efficient to finish the resets, right? You have a ward down. We have vision. You can just recall, right? If you don't want to clear this jungle, if you want to give Caitlyn the wolves, you want to give Lux the blue, just recall. Spend your gold, and we'll set up for Rift Herald, right? They're over here, whole teams coming to Dragon because it's our sole point that we'll be getting, right? We can just go do Rift Herald instead. We got a minute to do it, you know? That's plenty of time. Trundle does lots of damage. Nasus, of course, does lots of damage. Uh, you know, etc. Now that we looked at it again from this frame, because I didn't notice all this stuff happening while I was, like, over here doing stuff, right? So, obviously not, because I just trinketed and didn't even get the ward. I actually don't think we should do dragon here and even give them the opportunity for the steal, because we're not pressuring the map. They have nothing better to do with their time than contest this dragon, right? So why let them use their time effectively? We should just use our time effectively. And when you're this far ahead, using your time effectively, one of the considerations for what that means should also be not letting them use their time effectively. So starting dragon lets them use their time effectively. They have nothing better to do than contest it and possibly get some kills and get some catch-up gold, right? Which is exactly what happened. We should be 10k ahead here. We're so far ahead, and Nasus TP'd in that we just ended up acing them, but we absolutely could have thrown our lead right here. There are very many scenarios on how this plays out where we just throw our lead here. So that was kind of scary now that I looked at it again in the replay. Like, damn, we could have lost the game on this dragon play. And then Vi, this was so funny. I was like, what are you doing, Vi? She did. Yeah, that's hilarious. Alright, let me hand out the blue to Lux. See, this is very good use of our time. We're really far ahead. We aced the team. What are we doing? We're taking all of their farm, right? This goes into what I just said. A good use of our time is to make their time bad. And their time is bad if they're checking jungle camps that are gone. That's a very inefficient way to use your time in League of Legends, is to walk around to find that there isn't farm where I just walked to. So this is great. We capitalized on that play really well. We got Dragon, we got Vision down for Baron on the way out, just in case they try to sneak it. because again, we're really far ahead. They have to make the crazy Hail Mary plays to win, right? So we need to make sure we're protecting ourselves for that. We got our Baron vision down. We don't need to force Baron, right? We can just, kill this Darius again, give Nasus some more farm. Nasus is he's ahead in levels because Darius keeps dying, but he's probably behind in farm, right? Yeah, he's 60 behind. So let's get him a little bit bigger. Make sure we have our late game win condition of raid boss Nasus. I like that play. Still jungle camps to farm, so that's fine. Right here, we're probably just fucking around doing stupid shit when we should probably just be resetting right
Blue
now.
team's turret has been destroyed.
See, this is something we can all do better as a team too. We should be calling out gold stuff. Like Trundle, you can be like, all right, cool, we did the stuff. I have a buy point here. I need to reset. And then Caitlyn might be like, okay, let me get one more wave, and I have a buy point. And then Lux is like, all right, cool, I just shopped, so I'll be the one who comes and collects mid when y'all reset, right? And then I'm over here doing shit because no one else is recalling. I don't want to recall while they're trying to push mid. But we should all probably reset here and just let Lux stand at the tower and collect this wave. We get a pick because Sona's stupid. Vi comes in and ults the Lux. Mork missed the Q. I think I get a spell shield off a little too late on the Lux. See, this is one of the things that we don't realize in the moment, right? Like, this fight never should have happened. The only reason we win this fight is because we're really far ahead and they're bad. But realistically, that was their opportunity to just fuck us in the ass and come back a little bit and get this tower probably. But they fucked it up really bad. They didn't track us very well. They didn't know where we were. Or maybe we next leveled them and we were supposed to reset there. And someone on their team was like, yeah, they have a reset timer. Let's try to kill this Caitlyn and Lux because they're by themselves. And they weren't because we didn't actually reset. So, I don't know. Maybe we got lucky there. They tried to make the play and it backfired because we did weird shit. If we make the correct play there and Caitlyn and Lux stay aggressive like that, then they should just die, right? Hopefully Caitlyn and Lux don't do that if everyone else is in base, but you never know, right? You never know. Alright, we pretty much just closed the game out after this, so that's probably good. My lunch break's over, so we'll call it right here.